I'm Sam from Tarot for Writing, and welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first video, welcome. This is part of a series where we go through every single card of the tarot, and today we're going to look at the Queen of Pentacles. Isn't she amazing? This is part of a challenge put together by Esther from Mindful Tarot, and the idea is to take a look at the card, study a card one at a time, one a day for 78 days, and look at a definition, come up with a definition for the card, zero in on a detail, and then share some sort of discovery. And in the discovery section, I'll share with you how I use the Queen of Pentacles in my fiction writing and what this card might inspire me when I'm crafting my stories. I'm a paranormal romance author, and I use tarot all the time to help spark my creativity. So let's start with a definition. This card really speaks to me of financial success and abundance. You know, we see all this abundance in and around her, on her throne, in the rose garland, in her gowns, and of course in the large pentacle coin that she's holding so lovingly in her hand. It also speaks to me of resourcefulness, because she had to create all this abundance and all this wealth. And it's not just about the wealth, but sharing it and also what you do with it. So if we think about it, the pentacles as not just financial wealth, but also an abundance of health and maybe even knowledge as well. For her, it's not about acquiring all these things for their own sake, but it's about what they can do for her, what they can do for her loved ones, and since she's a queen, what they can do for her community. So that's really what the Queen of Pentacles is all about for me. The detail that I wanted to zero in today, or that grabbed my attention this morning, is the little rabbit that you can see in the corner here. It's in the bottom left. So rabbits, if you've ever been around rabbits or owned one as a pet, they are very cautious animals. They're prey. So they move with caution, but when they decide to move, they move very fast. So that's kind of something, a message I took away from it. You know, be prepared, get ready, but then when you've done preparing and it's time to move, don't hesitate. Go full speed ahead. Rabbits are also about being prolific. You know, they're known to reproduce at great rate. So for me as an author, that means, you know, I can be prolific in the writing I do, to go ahead and show up every single day, get the words in, get those books out there, publish and share my art with the world. And then of course, rabbits are a sign of good luck in cultures across the world, I believe. And it kind of reminded me of the old saying that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And that kind of is represented really well in this queen, I think. She looks like she feels prepared and is ready to grab a hold of the opportunity when it presents itself with both hands. Now let's talk a little bit about how I would use this card when it shows up for me in cards I draw or spreads I create for writing fiction. So if I'm working on a character, you know, this is a very motherly character, somebody who cares deeply and who wants to make sure that you have everything you need, that you are well provided for. She is that character who will pull out all the pots and pans in the middle of the night and cook you a meal if you're hungry. Now, of course, I'm referring to her as a she because it's the Queen of Cups, but I'm kind of thinking of this as an archetype. So this could totally be a male character as well, who is motherly and who cooks for everybody, that kind of person. And then I kind of looked at her looking at this coin longingly, and I thought about what that could inspire. Maybe there is a conflict here between career and starting a family. Maybe she has to choose, do I want to make it as a partner in this law firm, or do I want to take some time off so I can have a baby, raise a family, the things that we all struggle with in this modern age, not just women, but as couples, when do you make the decision to have children, that kind of thing. Or maybe, instead of that, her looking at this coin longingly means that her business venture, this thing that she's creating, that she's building, is her baby. That's what's important to her. And that is a perfectly valid and awesome choice as well. So a lot I could do there with creating a completely different character from the first one I described. And then the rabbit, going back to the idea of the rabbit, that kind of could spark an idea of a shy person who maybe has to come out of his or her shell before they can be seen for who they really are, before they can be open to find true love. So remember, I'm a romance author, so that is always top of mind for me. And we also have a little cherub at the top of her throne, carved into the throne, almost like a guardian angel looking over her shoulder. So that could kind of spark an idea for me of a side character who is a bit of a guardian angel who watches out for this main character. Or, this could also be the love interest. Maybe he has been that guardian angel for her, watching over her, maybe even from afar for a while, before something sparks them to come together and explore this idea of maybe they are right for each other and can find true love and happiness. And then we have the throne. The throne is a pretty strong symbol as well that could spark all sorts of ideas. Maybe it is somebody who is a little too full of themselves, who sits on their throne all high and mighty looking down at everybody else, who maybe needs to learn to change their perspective and kind of step down from that throne and become more grounded and more down to earth. Or on the flip side, we could have somebody who is putting their love interest on a high pedestal, and until they stop doing that, they can't see this other person for who they truly are. There are so many fun details and amazing things we can pull from this card, from little things like, what does this rose garland represent? Is it maybe an indication of an impending wedding or celebration? Kind of thinking a little bit like the Four of Wands card there. Or, if you look at the Queen, it's often pointed out in guidebooks that she is dressed very much like the magician. What can we pull from that? Is this person bringing something into reality, creating something? And then even small little details like this mountain in the background. What is a challenge my characters could face at this point in the story? How can they overcome it? And is there maybe a motherly, queen-like, benevolent person that can help them up this mountain, or somebody that they will encounter once they face the challenge and overcome the challenge? So lots of fun ideas to work with there. I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of the Queen of Pentacles. I certainly enjoyed sharing my thoughts on it with you, and I'm off to jot down some ideas this sparked for a new story, and I will see you tomorrow when we look at the King of Pentacles.